Hey everybody, just had to adjust the camera. How's everybody doing tonight? Welcome. We are going to be discussing cancer tonight and survivors, dealing with family members that have had it and stuff like that. And obviously, I'm going to talk about my own experiences with cancer and go from there. Okay, so but before we get into the whole chat, I know somebody was saying it was already 5 thumbs down. I guess I don't have nobody in their family with cancer, huh? I bet they do. It's just my dedicated team of haters, so that's all right. But that's all right. That's going to happen. It's not a big deal. So anyway, before we get into the chat, I wanted to talk about real quickly. It's a very family-friendly oriented channel. If you do not act appropriately, I have my awesome moderators will boot you out of the chat. Just there's no place for it. It's not necessary. So, but just be decent to each other. No racism, no bad language in the chat, please. I have awesome people that will, like I said, will take care of you if you do that. Once I'm done talking, if you have a comment or a question, please throw it all in cap locks, okay? So it stands out for me and I can see it better that way. All right. So let's get into this discussion. So, first of all, I'm going to talk about it this way. I'm in a club that nobody wants to be a part of. It's a special kind of club that no one wants to be a member of. Obviously, as you guys know, I've had cancer myself. All right. And in my family, we die of two things. We die of old age and we die of cancer. So it's, the odds are, I've lost both my grandparents on my mother's side to cancer. My uncle, my mother's sister, my mom's brother, he had cancer as well. He died from cancer. So, and it just goes back and back from there. But a lot of cancer, especially on my mom's side of the family. So, it's just, so okay. So I got to tell you this story before we really get into everything. So when we were kids and growing up, I quit smoking at 16 and never, like I said, I'll do an occasional cigar here and there. But as far as smoking on a regular basis, not at all, no. And so what happened was when we were probably in our 20s, we were all in our 20s. It was me, my sister, and I have two cousins. One cousin's my age. My cousin Terry is a year older than Doug and I, and my sister's 15 months younger. So we all kind of grew up together. And I made a joke. I said, you watch and see. I said, because I'm the only one of the four of us that doesn't smoke, I said, I'll get cancer first. Well, you got to watch what you put out into the universe because sometimes it comes back. And that's what, I don't think that was the reason that I ended up getting cancer, but it happens. And but anyway, when you get the, cancer affects so many people. It affects the person that has the cancer. It affects the family members around that person that are dealing with that cancer diagnosis, from kids to, adults to wives, husbands, all those type of things. And, and especially if you have a fatal diagnosis, having to have your loved ones watch and see that progression of the person with cancer getting worse and worse and worse. It's a horrible thing. If you have experienced it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It is an absolutely horrible thing. And so with the whole diagnosis of cancer, so when I found out that I had cancer, literally, I felt as though somebody had kicked me right in the testicles. That's exactly how I felt. It was just very unexpected, and I just, never saw it coming. Really never saw it coming. And I was just, I was floored, blown away. Because, of course, you get that initial diagnosis of cancer, and you think a death sentence. That's just the first thought in everybody's mind, okay? You think you're dead. And so, talking with the doctor, and he told me what kind of, and now I personally had a very rare form of skin cancer. It's a deep tissue cancer, and it affects 1 in a million people. So, very, very rare type of cancer, very aggressive, acting cancer. But if they get it early enough, very curable. So 98% cure rate in my case. and only 5% of people does it metastasize. So, I mean, the odds were all in my favor, and I was very, very blessed. They did the surgery, they got it all out. My back has never been the same. It took me a year after my surgery to actually feel somewhat normal, to be honest with you. It's one of the reasons why I actually left nursing when I did too, because being on your feet for 8 hours straight or 12 hours or whatever your shift is, I was eating Advil like it was candy. I'll be honest with you. I was in a lot of pain a lot of the time, and it made it very, very unpleasant. Now, a day like today, okay, I'm out and I was moving gravel today at the homestead here. I absolutely overdid it today, and I know I overdid it, and I'm feeling it tonight. But it's just, I know how to push myself now to a point where it's okay, and I'm not going to be in a tremendous amount of pain, but I still deal with pain. It's just part of what it is. I mean, anybody that if you've watched my videos and you've watched my summertime videos and you saw me from behind, you've seen my scar. It is huge, but that's okay. And here's something that I told the doctor, guys. She was like, yeah, it's a really big scar, and I told her, I said, Doc, listen, I said, I don't care if that scar ran right straight down the middle of my face. I said, I'm alive. I said, and that's the most important thing. Scars mean you've lived. So ladies and gentlemen, and I know women have a lot more problem dealing with scars than men do. But, if you are a cancer survivor and you have your scars from it, it's a mark that you've lived and that you're still alive. And so I will always be grateful for my cancer doctor. Her name was Dr. Carmody. Out of Rochester. It's Strong Memorial Hospital. She did a fantastic job. Very, very cool. So, but cancer's getting worse and worse all over the place, guys. All over the place. So, I'm seeing some people say here, like the happy elf had the cancer on their face. Yeah, it's just, it sucks. I mean, it absolutely is terrible. Hey, Mountain Girl, welcome to the chat, hon. It's a devastating thing. And now, in my case, I was very, very lucky. I will always say that, even though I'm not the way I used to be, I don't care. I'm alive. And, I continue to get to watch my children grow and become the people that they are becoming now. And I said to the doctor, I said, now I'm going to beat this. I said, I got too much to do yet. I don't have time to be dying. So, but there's unfortunately, a lot of people are dealing with either themselves or a loved one dying of cancer. And I did a lot of hospice back in the day with nursing, and I dealt with a lot of cancer patients, it sucks. I mean, it's, when you get cancer and it's unexpected and you didn't know it was coming, it is a horrible thing, not just on the individual that's dealing with it, but every one of their family members. So let's say you have a mother that has cancer, okay, and it's a fatal cancer. We're just going to use that as an example. Now, she's decimated, devastated, and this has happened over and over again. She may have younger children. Now, these poor kids, their mother's dying of cancer. The husband's trying to keep it together, trying to keep, his own sanity in dealing with this person that he loves, that he's married to, that's dying, and trying to be there to support the kids and stuff like that as well. I mean, it's a very, very, very difficult thing. It's a horrible process to watch as a loved one, to watch your loved one rot away. My grandfather had leukemia, and he fought leukemia for 4 years, and he was 77 when he passed. When he got down to the end, now I used to go out and I would give my grandfather a bath and shave him every other day. I was living in Rochester. They lived in Scottsville. And so I would go out every other day and I would give him his bath and I would give him a shower. And I'm going to tell you what, some of the very best conversations that I had with my grandfather was in that time period. We really, really became a lot closer. And we had a lot of very meaningful talks, which was awesome. That's all of a sudden, here's the thing too. When we're all very busy, we all have 1,000,001 things going on with our life, okay? When you find out that you have cancer, everything stops. Everything slows down. All of a sudden, you got a lot of time. and it gives you time to reflect, and it gives you time to analyze where you're at in your life, what you're doing with your life, and where you want to go. If you can beat it, you can beat that cancer. It's 5-time cancer survivor. Wow. NW natural lady. Wow. Very nice. Congratulations. That's good. But it's like I said, it's just it's very difficult to watch, and to watch that person rot away. My grandfather, when he died, I think he weighed, God, he was like just a little over 100 pounds. He looked like one of those people that came out of the Auschwitz concentration camps. I mean, you could see every one of the bone details in his back, and it was horrible. It was horrible. And being his caregiver, I mean, I saw him up close and personal, or one of his caregivers. There was many in the family that, I wasn't the only one, but it was a difficult thing to watch. And it's when you are dealing with that, and it's your loved one, that's a difficult thing. And here's the weird part, okay? And I'm going to give you an example. I'm a very, very hands-on type of person. So for me, when my grandfather had cancer, it became very personal, and I wanted to be there for him and help him and stuff like that. I have a cousin of mine that could not handle the diagnosis of my grandfather, and he just stayed away. He was just gone. He just wasn't nowhere around, period. And I just never got that, because it's like, that's a time that you can